Hey, I'm Butterfly.
Hey, I'm Firefly.
Have you ever wondered if we aren't being told the truth about everything?
What have we been lied to about? Join us as we have conversations and ask questions about everything. We invite you to keep an open mind and consider the unfathomable.
Let's break the chains that enslave our minds. Come on, let's go down the rabbit hole.
What's up, Butterfly?
Hey, Firefly, what's up?
I'm so excited to see you.
I'm excited to see you.
We have a timely episode.
I know.
There's stuff going on in our backyard.
Yeah,
So
like kind of like in our backyard.
it's in our backyard. So this is what I think we're wondering. Is ICE spraying Raid
On the riots.
on the riots? So Raid, remember Raid was like kills bugs.
It's like the
Dead.
cockroach spray.
Yeah, it was like the cockroach
Well,
spray.
they kind of are like cockroaches.
Well,
You
that's
know what I
kind of what
mean?
it
They
is.
kind of like scurry out of the woodworks and like
I
cause all
think
kinds
we
of
need to
chaos.
use Raid.
I think we need raid.
Like if
So
you
it's
have
it's
cockroaches,
appropriate.
it's totally cockroaches. They feel like that.
Yeah, they feel like
You
it.
know what they also do is they kind of scurry into you know what kind of reminds me of? I hate to say it. People are gonna get really mad when I say this right now because I'm a bad person.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say it anyways.
Okay.
I think illegal immigration is kind of like cockroach infestation. I think that's why I kind of look at it, you know. And they're going to be like, "How dare you? Those are God's children." Now, I don't have anything against those people as individuals,
Right.
but I think if you decide to just sneak into a country illegally,
Yeah.
you've become kind of cockroach-like.
Yeah, you're cockroachy.
You're cockroachy.
Yeah.
You're kind of sneaking out from underneath the floorboards and trying to get like some crumbs off the kitchen floor.
Yeah. You're like
So I think it's kind of appropriate to do raid.
So
I think raid is an appropriate attack.
that's why they were raided.
But Karen Bass is really mad.
Karen Bass is mad about that.
She doesn't like raid.
She thinks the raids are the reason for the riots.
You know, Karen Bass would be like one of those people who the kitchen's infested with cockroaches.
Yeah.
And she's just sitting there watching Jerry Springer. And she doesn't care.
Yeah.
And you go, aren't you gonna like take care of the cockroach problem?
She's sitting there dropping crumbs
She's
on the floor while she's watching bringing in more cockroaches.
Or even worse, it's like remember we talked about the patchouli hippie girl?
Yeah.
So she's wearing patchouli.
She's got hairy armpits.
She's got hairy pits. And she doesn't want to kill the bugs.
Yeah.
Because they're life forms.
Yeah.
Who are you to kick cockroaches out?
Right.
That's kind of like the argument.
Kind of.
It's like, well, who are you to kick the immigrants out?
Yeah.
They're just immigrants.
Yeah.
No, they're not.
I mean, I just first of all, what's her name? Karen Bass?
Karen Bass.
I don't know.
You know what? She kind of looks like a dude. Remember you were talking about inversion?
Yeah.
Like all the cult members are inverted?
I wonder. And
she looks like her name might have been Chris.
Yeah. But she's not very high up in she's one of those
She's
ones
Kevin Bass.
She's going to get kicked under the bus like any moment because as soon as they don't need her anymore, they'll be rid of her. But I kind of wonder what her qualifications are because she doesn't really seem to be all that smart. I don't know.
No.
You know?
No. No, she's the fall kind of looking like a guy. Fall guy. She's the fall lesbian. She's the fall lesbian.
Yeah.
She's the lesbian, kind of like so you know what I noticed is the Trump administration kind of like throws lesbians under the bus.
They do.
Because remember the assassination lesbians?
Yes.
So
that's totally appropriate too, because I think Donald Trump really likes beautiful women.
He does.
I think he does. He kind of has a pattern there. That's why that whole E. Jean Carroll story was so bogus.
That didn't really.
There's no way he would have gone for that.
That didn't really gel. I was looking at E. Jean Carroll and trying to reverse the years and going, okay, well, let's look at her in the 80s. Even then,
I don't think so.
No,
it didn't look like his type.
I can't remember his wife's name. What was it? Is Ivanka?
Yeah.
Even Ivanka was way hotter.
Yeah.
Why was he gonna go? I mean, so Karen Bass. I don't think he has a problem throwing her under the bus because she is not hot, and he's just like, I'm gonna throw her under the bus.
Yeah.
So
if she was hot, he'd have a harder time doing that.
Yeah.
So he gets these purposely gets these not hot kind of.
Karen Bass probably got an email from Satan saying,
You're in. She was stoked. She was stoked.
Karen, welcome. Welcome to the intersection. You're gonna be running
Welcome to
LA.
hell.
You're gonna be running LA. And then she was all stoked, like, I'm gonna run
Yeah.
LA. And she started thinking like maybe she was like in
The in crowd.
like a Showtime series about her, you know?
Yeah.
But actually, she's the fall lesbian
I
because
know.
there's fall lesbians in the Trump
There
administration.
are. There's
The
been
ones
several.
there's been several. So it's like they think they're a big somebody, but they're the one. So she's going to get blamed for all this.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Even
surprised.
CNN was blaming her.
Yeah, I thought she was gonna like get thrown under the bus after the LA fires. Because didn't she just happen to disappear like at
She
the
just
key
happened to be like
moment?
out of town when all the water was shut off, and then
Yeah.
like just preceding the. You're talking about the Pacific Palisades.
Yeah.
Um, well, it was Earth modification that caused that.
Oh, that's right.
That was Earth
Yeah.
modification. But what she did was she said, "Well, we need to cut spending for the fire department big time." So she cut like a huge amount of spending on the fire department. So that's why when you saw when they had the horrible earth modification fires that weren't dues at all. Those were not dues. That was earth modification.
Right.
When they had those, they had firemen putting out shrubs with purses full of water.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was like she cut off the funding and the water.
But she sent a case of purses.
She's
Probably.
so in the cult.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
totally. Or she wants to be. She's like kind of, I feel like she's like kind of on the outskirts. Like she's in the cult, but she's not like in as deep as she
I
wants
just
to
had
be.
an epiphany.
Oh wow, what?
Remember Peter Thiel was on the hot seat?
Yeah.
What if Satan emailed Peter Thiel and said, if you want to stay in the cult, you have to have sex with Karen Bass.
Runner and Trot.
And he was freaking out. He was like, oh my God, really? So I think that's why. So I think she's going to take the fall here.
Yeah.
What I think might be happening under her watch is she's just a puppet who just goes out and says what she's supposed to say.
Yeah.
Like you saw her on that interview with CNN that we watched.
Hmm.
What did she say?
She said, if we didn't have the raids, we wouldn't be having these riots.
If it wasn't for the raids, we wouldn't have these riots. Well, so what I think is she goes out and does whatever she's told,
Mhm.
but they know that she's the lesbian fall guy. She's the fall lesbian. Why? Because I think what is going on in LA right now is a bunch of mind controlled people
Yeah.
are being activated.
They're totally activated. And I think there's like mass activation going on.
Yeah.
I think like, I've talked to you about some things I've experienced recently where I feel like some of the people that I've encountered in my life recently feel like they've been activated, you
Well,
know?
we've talked about that a lot. If you
Hmm.
think back to some of our conversations, we've kind of talked about how walkers could potentially be activated to become violent.
At any time. Like some of them seem pretty docile most of the time, but
Yeah.
they can be activated at any moment.
And
Anything could be their pinch.
like a bunch of walkers on the Harbor Freeway can be dangerous.
Right. Especially if they're throwing Molotov cocktails over the bridge.
You
You know,
notice how they like if you look at like have you seen any of the videos of these Phi Beta Kappas in LA the last few days?
the ones that are throwing the Molotov
Yeah,
cocktails. Yeah.
they're not behind the wheel.
No.
They're activated and they're totally mind controlled.
Right.
They have the same look on their face as the people who were scratching the Teslas.
Hmm.
And the Tesla's got a video camera on it.
Yeah. It's not really all that smart.
You know what I was thinking is remember we did an episode on Palantir the
Yeah.
other day? Like think about okay, so we unpacked that Palantir was started by our CIA
Hmm.
and Mossad
Right.
and what's his name? Peter Thiel is heavily invested.
Yeah.
Well, they probably are using Palantir right now on LA activation.
Totally. Totally.
And so now LA is like mini Palestine.
Yeah.
And they're going, okay, well, so what we're going to do is we're going to have 100 targets chosen at random. But now instead of rounding up and killing Palestinians, they're just going to assign a kill score to like blue pilled walkers.
Yeah.
So I
So
think
they're all going to get run under the
I think
bus.
so.
Yeah.
It's weird how it works that way, but
Mm,
what you have to remember is these people align themselves with Satan and they get betrayed.
right.
So the walkers that are on the Harbor Freeway, they're gonna have some sucky stuff happen to them.
Right.
They're being used by Satan.
So spot on. Like, I mean, so I think like this whole thing could be sort of a precursor for the Palantir situation too, if it's not already in. I think like this could be like
The
the
justification.
justification, the big, this is why we need digital surveillance. And then all these people are going to be like, oh, that's right. Everything's going to be
Well,
safer.
did you hear this weird anomaly that came out of the LA riots? It's LA riots 2.0.
Mm,
It's like, well, we had them back during OJ when he got
yeah.
exonerated, but now we got a new version of it.
And if we had mass surveillance, this wouldn't be happening.
If we wouldn't have this. But they had people coming down from $10 million mansions over in Bel Air to protest. So
Hmm.
they have a bunch of rich liberals going down and doing violent stuff.
Was that really happening?
Yes.
Mm,
Well, that's what they say. Who knows? Who knows?
yeah,
Was that really happening? You always ask questions like that,
I
kind of
know.
backs me in the corner because I'm getting lied to. I don't know. But
I don't know. I just can't.
let's just say maybe that is
Maybe
the
it
case.
was. Yeah.
What I'm thinking is the violent people are being paid, and then the walkers are being activated. So it's kind of a double-edged
I
sword.
just had like a little, like, I don't know if it was an epiphany, but I'm just picturing like this really rich lady living in her $10 million mansion in Bel Air and like sitting on her couch drinking a martini or something and watching the news and going, I'm going to go down there and protest. And I thought, I don't think so, but I think she might pay her hired help to go do it
She
for her.
could.
So
And
like,
then that
well,
person is attached to her
yeah,
money and her like mansion.
while George Soros is hiring all these like deadbeats to go do it, then like the rich lady in her mansion is hiring her little person to go do it too, so she could say, "I'm part of the protest."
Because this feels like the liberal world order.
Yeah,
Because the liberal world order likes cramming 300 million third world barbarians into the first world.
yeah.
They like that.
And the rich ones can just, shut their security gates in their neighborhood and just not have to deal with it. So they don't really have to worry. They can go off to their mansions and their,
Epiphany, epiphany,
oh
epiphany.
my gosh. Okay.
What if?
Like a little bell or something with
Ding,
that.
ding, ding, ding. This is my epiphany. What if? So I think Trump is in the cold.
Yeah.
And I think ICE raids are placating his base. But also, ICE raids have another purpose too. It's usher in Palantir.
Oh,
Usher in Palantir.
yeah, for sure. That's what I'm saying.
So
Yeah.
so they're gonna go and act like, hey, we're rounding up these illegals. Look at the fight that we did in LA to make sure that we're ICE people are around. And so you have a bunch of like blue pill cult members in the Trump cult that are gonna be like, yes, he's our hero. He bleeds clean.
Our leader is a clean bleeder.
Our leader is a clean bleeder. So I think that's what's going to happen now is the Trump cult's going to get deeper blue pilled
Hmm.
because they're going to watch
The
this and they're going to
cobalt
go,
blue pill.
look at how awesome he is. He's a cobalt blue pill.
Yeah.
So it's deeper blue. So like I think they're watching this and they're going, look at how awesome of a hero he is. He's going and fighting against Karen Bass.
And he's going to say, we really have to have more digital surveillance because we got to control these types of people in these situations. And his followers are going to be like, yes, that's true. We got to
It's
be
gonna be land,
air, land, and sea.
land, air, and sea. It's a comprehensive tracking system. And it's gonna be now like kind of like remember Gavin Newsom was like the debate on climate change is over. Now Trump's gonna be like the debate on Palantir is over.
Yeah.
We need this because look,
I am Palantir.
I am Palantir. we're gonna have this Peter Thiel and I go golfing and sometimes steam room. Although Trump, I don't know. Trump doesn't look like he is like rub effervescent oils on me, kind of the way Peter Thiel is.
Mhm.
Trump looks like he might be kind of like, no, that's okay, but it's okay. I like you, but I don't want to go steam room with you. But I don't know. I think it's kind of it's interesting what's going on in LA because you almost could look at it like, hey, look at what a good guy Trump is. I think that's the wrong takeaway.
Well, if we hadn't just seen all this other stuff about Palantir and how on board he is with that,
Yeah.
I would be thinking, yeah, he's bringing in the National Guard to stop this chaos, and people are complaining about that. And I'm like, we were just talking about, I'm like, what is the argument against that? Like that they're burning down and destroying the city, and the cops can't handle it. So what's wrong with bringing in the National Guard?
It's like those
What's wrong with that?
it's like those girls in Sweden that are refugees welcome.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, wait, didn't you guys get raped? It's
I
okay.
know. I mean, so it's okay. Like a lot of these people, like I remember I told you about a friend of mine that when I talked about the cities being burned down 5 years ago, and he was like all mad at me, and he said they're expressing themselves.
These
So
people in LA, this is
is that what
expressing.
it is? That
So
they're
going and
expressing
standing on the Harbor Freeway, it's
and
expressing yourself.
throwing Molotov cocktails into innocent drivers.
Yeah.
That's just a form of expression.
It's their culture.
And so it's too bad for that guy who crashed his car with a Molotov cocktail in the front seat. Too bad for him.
I guess so. You know what it is they're escaping from directly to jail countries.
Right.
So they deserve
they'd
to do
be
this.
they'd be going directly to jail.
In their
Straight to jail.
country, and it
Straight to
goes
jail.
straight to jail.
Yeah.
So they know to come here
Yeah.
because here they just get $10,000 a month
And
to
they get paid
act
to
like
do this.
animals.
Yeah, they get paid to do it.
So I think it's kind of interesting because you could be looking at this and go, dude, Trump is a hero. He's
Right.
rounding up these baddies.
But what's going to be the next step? Um, we think that this is going to be the excuse for implementing complete digital surveillance in order to keep
I
us
think
safe.
so.
In
I
order
think
to
so.
keep us safe. That's the reason.
There's another thing that lends itself to that theory too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice how Trump Elon soap opera fight
Yeah.
took place right after the Palantir thing came out?
Yeah.
So they were immediately like, ooh, don't pay attention to that. Look at Elon is fighting with Trump.
Yeah.
Pay attention to that.
Right.
You know? And now he's got a honeypot. People love honeypot. They love stories about that. Ooh, he got honeypotted. Who was that one dude that remember do you remember Russiagate?
Yeah.
I mean, now it seems like
Russia.
it was so stupid. And it was like, well, Trump urinated on a girl in the Russian hotel room, and it was like that doesn't sound like him. He
No.
doesn't look like a pee on me kind of like R. Kelly. He looks like he might
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
But Trump doesn't look like he really gets off on urinating on women.
No.
But that was the story, remember? And remember there was a guy.
I mean, he's a clean bleeder. I don't think he'd want pee all over the
Yeah,
place.
he's a clean peer too, probably.
Yeah.
He doesn't even bleed on his collar. He's
Yeah.
gonna urinate on a prostitute. I don't think
I
so.
don't think so.
So, anyways, that was remember the dossier was put together.
Yeah.
But there was this intrigue going on, and this guy Papadopoulos. Remember him?
Yeah, I remember him.
Yeah, I can't
What
remember his
happened to
first
him?
name. Well,
Did he go off to Antarctica in his
he got
submarine?
voted off.
Yeah.
He played his part. He
Yeah.
probably sold his soul,
Yeah.
and he played his part. But remember, his part was he went over to like Russia and got honeypotted, and he actually boned her.
Oh, so that's why he got like voted off the show.
So he got voted off.
Yeah.
And now he'll occasionally make like an appearance on, like he was on about 6 months ago. He was on Stu.
Oh.
And he came on like he's the embattled in the arena kind of guy.
Uh-huh.
But I think he's just a reality show contestant, and his role has been diminished.
Yeah.
But his role was to be part of Russiagate
Mm-hmm.
and to be the honeypot guy.
Right.
So they use honeypot, and that was part of the thing with Elon. It was like he's being honeypotted because I think you mentioned that.
Yeah,
right?
totally.
So it was like, pay attention to these things. That's what Americans love, is that type of drama. And don't pay attention to Palantir, because Palantir is kind of boring.
Yeah, you don't need to look at that. That's like old news.
It's boring. And people don't really care. It's like, whatever.
Mhm.
Like, didn't you have a friend of yours tell you, I don't really care if they watch me. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's get back to the point where, see, the thing with Palantir is the blue pill makes people oblivious to slippery slopes.
Exactly.
That's why Palantir is getting ushered in
Yeah.
because people just go, oh, well, I'm not doing anything wrong.
Yeah.
It's fine.
So it's funny that you mentioned that because I saw something this morning um, about, I guess, like 13 or 14 states just put into law this thing where you can't even touch your cell phone while you're in your car or you'll get a fine. And they differ. Like they start at $50, but like, in California, it's probably like 450.
I kind of like that law.
Well, but here's my problem with it.
Slippery slope.
It's a slippery slope because so they're saying you can't touch your cell phone, but there's a few problems with this because like most of the newer cars have these touch screen things to control everything, which is way more difficult to do while you're driving
Yeah.
and way more dangerous anyway.
Yeah.
So they're outlawing the phones, but they're putting in all of this stuff into the cars that has the same technology that is going to be completely distracting. But the other thing is, yeah, it's a slippery slope. I mean, like, so they're saying you can't touch your phone. Maybe they're also going to say you can't put lipstick on while you're driving,
That's right.
or you shouldn't be eating while you're driving. And how do they even know that you're doing these things? Because
they're monitoring you in your
they're monitoring you. There's going to be surveillance everywhere. We already know that the Teslas have cameras everywhere. So they're probably going to be
Palantir's like, we have a camera in your bathroom and your car.
yeah. So it's going to be like where
It's comprehensive
to the point where, you touch your phone or something and it's going to be like, beep, beep, beep. We see you touching your phone.
You know what
You now have
happens?
a $50 fine.
Every time you touch your phone, Trump goes, land, air, and sea.
Hmm.
And he just comes in your car.
Yeah.
And he tells you, by the way, we're watching.
So it
See?
starts out with something like that. And all these people were commenting, going, oh, that's a great idea. I know somebody who got killed by somebody who was driving, texting, and, distracted drivers kill people. But that's what they see. And then they put these things into place for
You know
your
what?
safety.
You know what those people are thinking? I'm going to get my nipple pierced on the way to my lunch break.
Totally.
Those are the kind of people.
They don't see like the next step. They don't see like
You go, wait,
even 10
but
minutes from now.
when you pierce your nipple, it's going to be like permanent. You're going to put a hole in your nipple.
Yeah.
That's okay. Let's just go on the way to get tacos.
Yeah.
I think people don't think things through.
They don't think things through.
And the blue pill kind of makes people like oblivious to a slippery slope.
They can't see the big picture. They can't see the slippery slope.
No.
They only see right here, right now, and whatever they've been told.
It's kind of dangerous.
Yeah, no
it's
consequences.
very dangerous.
It's super dangerous.
And Palantir is one of those things where you have to see the slippery slope in order to see it as being anything nefarious.
Yeah, because like, so what if you did touch your phone or now it's lipstick you can't do or you can't eat? It's probably okay if you eat beef jerky, but not like, I mean, not okay to eat beef jerky, but okay if you're eating crickets. That might be okay.
If you had locust bean paste,
that's fine.
We'll let you go.
But
if you have a cheeseburger, you're going directly to jail.
So then it turns into where maybe they just turn your car off. Now, remotely, your car's been turned off and it's like, oh, well, you were touching your phone, and now you can't.
Or how about even worse? Like they just have you 90 miles an hour into a wall.
Mm-hmm.
And they just go, you go to Anheshville. Because that's part of the thing that's going on with the cars. I think they're surveilling you and they're going to be like, by the way, we're going to kill you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But all I'm saying is Trump looks like he might be placating his base and keeping them blue-pilled.
Right.
While he ushers in Palantir.
Yeah.
And I think Palantir is kind of the new world order.
It is.
You know why? Because part of Palantir's business model is we give you a score. That's
so gross.
So bad.
Yeah.
Because your score, what kind of data is going into your score?
It's like, I'm picturing that whole Tom Cruise scene where he's walking through the mall and like the ads are targeted right to him and like they know that he's about to commit a crime.
So insidious. But also they're gonna probably so once Palantir starts, you've been chosen by AI to be one of their subjects of surveillance. So now they're watching you everywhere you go. and listening to everything you say, but they're also watching what you eat. And so, what if they start putting together like a carbon footprint on your eating habits?
Right.
And they're like, you had beef every night because I eat meat like pretty much all the time.
You're a
Like,
carnivore.
yeah, they're just like, you've eaten way too much meat.
Here's some bugs for you.
Yes, you get, but so I'm wondering if my Palantir score is going to be low
Hmm.
and I'm just going to get dude out here in the middle of nowhere.
Totally.
But see, that's the thing. People are just like, well, that's you
Yeah.
because you're a conspiracy theorist.
I only have a steak once a month. So
I eat
I know.
crickets.
But then like those people, there's going to be something like 6 months from now that you're doing that they're not going to approve of.
Well, what I always bring up is the Bolsheviks. What happened with the Bolsheviks? So they did the Russian Revolution, right?
Hmm.
When they took over, who were the first people they killed? They killed the people who
Hmm.
turned all of their brothers and sisters and all their countrymen in, and then also they killed the people who went along with their stuff,
They don't like traitors
traitors,
and
and then
they
kind of
don't like
followers.
followers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like a cucked husband. Nobody really likes a cucked husband.
Mm-mm.
It's kind of an obnoxious trait. So once they take over, they're going to be like, well, we're going to get rid of you.
Yeah,
So I think the LA situation is kind of Palantir. It smells kind of Palantir.
it does.
I don't know why, but for me, I think the Trump is the clean bleeder hero. How's the slogan? We got to make a shirt.
My leader is a clean bleeder.
My leader is a clean bleeder because he got shot in the ear and didn't even bleed on his collar.
I know.
So
Shirt states starch white.
it was starch white, and he said, "Fight, fight, fight."
Yeah.
We could
Oh,
wow.
wow.
It's like a whole big shirt. So anyways, Trump is hero now, but I'm thinking Trump is placating his base, keeping them blue pilled. And also another interesting dynamic is MK Ultra.
This feels very MK Ultra-ish.
Like if you look at those
Yeah.
people stand on the Harbor Freeway, they look like walkers,
Yeah.
like literal walkers.
They're activated walkers for sure. I mean, what would drive somebody to do something like that? A
Yeah,
normal person, like to throw Molotov cocktails on random people you don't even know.
yeah.
It's not like you could be like, I'm mad at that person because that person wronged me or something. You're like, it's a random person driving. You have no idea who this person could even be like a friend of yours. It's
Because
driving,
what
you
did we
know.
say? They turn into mini Larry Finks.
Yeah.
And how's Larry Fink?
Mini megalomaniac psychopaths.
Yes. So that's what you have there.
They've turned all the walkers into their own little like psychopath followers.
Like you have to be a psychopath to just go, I have a Molotov cocktail. I'm just gonna throw it
Yeah.
at that car.
Yeah.
You have to be a psychopath because you have no concern for the person that you just threw that at.
Right.
So, and you're kind of a megalomaniac because you feel like entitled to do that.
Yeah.
Like megalomania is, I'm gonna go stand on the Harbor Freeway, and even though like millions of people need to utilize this roadway, I'm just gonna say no because I deserve to be here illegally and get 10,000 a month.
Yeah.
That's kind of a megalomaniac.
Totally.
It's like I'm very important. And it doesn't matter if I'm right.
Yeah.
I stand on the Harbor Freeway. So I don't know. I think this is kind of like there's a couple of things going on. It's Palantir and it's also MK Ultra.
Mm-hmm.
The CIA is really busy in LA today.
Yeah.
They're down there. They got a couple of guys down there, and Satan is
They're
even
pinching. They're
yeah.
doing their pinches.
Satan flew in and he's like hanging out in the La Brea tar pits right now. He took an elevator up from the bottom of the La Brea tar pits.
It's like bubbling. He took his submarine. His little
He took his sub.
scope is coming
He
in.
took his sub right into the La Brea tar pits, and then he just comes up from the La Brea tar pits, and he just goes, "I came to oversee the situation."
I came to watch.
Yes.
He's got popcorn.
He's like, "Good, good. You guys, you blue-pilled people over there on the Harbor Freeway, you're doing a good job. And Trump, that's good. Keep making it look like the raids are for immigration, but make sure you just keep putting in the because think about how Palantir is getting implemented. It's probably cameras everywhere. That's
Yeah,
probably
totally.
and now
They're
when you
putting
see cameras
cameras.
everywhere, you're going to be like, oh, well, I understand because there was a bunch of third world barbarians on the Harbor Freeway.
Yeah,
We
it's
have to
for your safety.
see, we're getting away from the Fourth Amendment.
Mm-hmm.
The Fourth Amendment's going bye-bye.
We're not going to have any privacy, and basically, they can decide that anything you do is wrong at any time.
That's why I
What did
still
you
go back.
say? Show me the man and I'll show you the crime.
That was Stalin. Show
Mm.
me the man, I'll show you the crime.
Yeah.
They'll find a way. But I'm starting to think those $10 million mansion ladies, like liberal women, kind of went down there and probably did violent stuff because there has to be violence going on in order to make it newsworthy. And
Mm-hmm.
I think they have to go do violence. And I think the violence is part of the
Mm-hmm.
trauma-based mind control. And also it's part of the justification. They have to go be violent in order to justify, oh yeah, Big Daddy, can you please surveil everything to keep us safe from those violent people?
Right. And then they stopped and got a fresh manicure on the way home.
And then right on the way home, they go back to their mansion. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's all fake. But what I'm wondering is, are they doing all this violence on purpose in order to justify? It's kind of like 9/11.
Yeah, I think so. I think they're doing this on purpose to justify the need for complete surveillance.
Because, like, if you look, like, it's been going on for like 4 days now.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of feels like the OJ days.
Totally.
And every time I turn on a YouTube video pertaining to LA, it's always violence, something violent.
Yeah.
They like light cars on fire.
It's so gross.
It's like, well,
Is it
I'm helping.
is it happening all over LA or it just in like one area?
I don't know. It's probably in like there's like
Because
a 10 block radius
I
where all riots in LA take
I
place.
know because I've been trying like not to watch it really. I don't want to see it.
It's a part of LA that I never really go to,
Yeah.
you know?
It looked like kind of the gnarly part of LA from what I saw.
Yeah, like if you want to go to like Olivera Street right now, probably would be lame.
Like I
There's
don't
a bunch
think
of walkers at Olivera Street.
it's not really happening like in that lady from Bel Air. It's not happening in her backyard.
No. And they already burned down Pacific Palisades, but
Right.
it would not have been happening there.
No.
Although I have been hearing that they have like third world barbarians like following rich people home and breaking into their homes in LA.
Really?
Yeah. And then like 2 years ago, the chief of police came out and told people, by the way, a lot of people are coming to LA for vacation. I just want to let you know, we can't ensure your safety.
Oh, great.
So if the cops are saying that, what they're basically saying is, we've been defunded.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, if we take any kind of enforcement action against somebody who is of the protected class, these majorities,
Mm-hmm.
they're allowed to do anything they want without getting arrested. So when you go down there, if you happen to be a white person walking on Melrose right now, you could conceivably just be accosted and nothing happened to that person that
Oh yeah,
accosted
right.
you.
Yeah, totally.
So LA is kind of sketchy,
It is.
but what I think's going on down there is more than meets the eye.
Mm.
I think you need to read the tea leaves a little bit.
Yeah.
Because you watch these videos on YouTube, you're going to be like, Trump, the clean bleeder, he's our leader. That's what you're going to get.
Yeah.
Every time you watch it, he's even coming out and doing statements. Did you see him? And
Mm-mm.
he was like, there was very bad people down there. It's a good thing we're there. You're not going to get rid of us. So the idea is it's Trump versus the baddies that want illegal
Mm-hmm.
immigration.
Yeah,
That's a narrative.
totally.
They're all in control. So, anyways, I thought we should maybe talk about this because it's kind of timely.
Well, yeah, we definitely had to talk about, I mean, needed to be addressed because it's breaking news.
You know what I noticed is it kind of pertains to all of our other episodes,
I know.
which kind of means I don't know, but I don't want to brag, but we're kind of all over it.
I know.
We're kind of all over it.
We're kind of like on target.
We're kind of on target. I think the
Yeah.
key things to watch for in the LA like spraying raid on the ice. Wait, what is it?
It was is ice spraying raid on the riots.
I love that.
It's like I picture them coming in like the Ghostbusters guy,
Yeah.
just like with a huge thing of raid, just like spraying little
Illegal immigrants going,
cockroaches.
yeah, like I don't know. I think the key takeaway for me, just looking at the whole situation, is MK Ultra activation has taken place.
Yeah,
It could also be MK Ultra. It could be vaccine. The Pokies,
the Pokies. Yeah.
the
Well,
Pokies,
yeah,
and the what was it? 5G
yeah.
Pokies and 5G.
All of that stuff. I'm sure all of those people who are out there rioting have been poked.
They're poked
Mm,
and 5G.
mhm. There's probably an extra big 5G tower. Like they probably have like those news vans that go around,
Yeah.
like the ABC news van that
Oh
goes
my
around
God.
with the big like satellite thing on the top.
Yes.
It's probably like one of those, but it's 5G, so they can just drive into a certain area and park it, and you've got instant 5G activation.
My God. And then like you're hanging out with some dude and all of a sudden he just goes like a beacon and starts wandering off that way. And he starts wandering off towards the van. And
Yeah,
you go, what happened to Eddie? Well, Eddie just got
he
activated.
was activated.
Eddie just got
Don't you
activated.
see the 5G van?
And then he just goes and stands on the middle of the Harbor Freeway.
He starts throwing Molotov cocktails.
You're like, Eddie, dude, I thought you were a pastor. What happened? But anyways, I think that's one of the key takeaways. The other thing is you look at Palantir. It's Palantir.
Yeah.
Those are the two takeaways because Palantir is going, yes, yes.
Well, they're using MK Ultra to get Palantir in here.
Yeah.
They're MK Ultra-ing these people, activating them, and then that's going to be the reason.
There's a third thing going on in LA.
What?
The Trump cult is getting deeper blue pill.
Yeah, they're cobalt blue.
They're getting cobalt blue now. Now you're not going to be able to say anything about their leader.
Yeah, no.
Because he's going in and fighting this good fight and getting these people out of there. And the MK Ultra people, they are so all the violence is trauma, and then help me, Daddy, you protect me. It's kind of like in 1984, the 2 minutes hate. Remember the 2 minutes hate? And they would just get the people all stirred up against Oceania. We got to go fight them.
Yeah.
This feels 2 minutes Haiti.
Totally.
All the footage of them burning stuff and
Yeah.
all they got to do is set on fire a couple of cars because that's really all you see. It's a few cars that got set up on fire.
Yeah.
That feels like a movie
They
script.
they could have brought those in from like Sony Studios down the street, like
Those were leftover props.
leftover props from that one movie we just
From
did
Escape from LA. And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Escape from LA. It feels Escape from LA.
Totally.
That's what it is. Because I wouldn't want to be in LA right now.
No.
I mean, we're close enough.
I know.
Let it be down there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, do you have anything else you want to say about the LA raids?
Not today, but if something new pops up tomorrow, we might have to do another edition.
Well, LA is kind of becoming a petri dish.
It is so gross.
It's the Olympics are coming up, and so LA has become like where the cult is doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like Satan has set up like a temporary office at the Liberated Tarpons.
LA is one of Satan's headquarters.
Yeah.
For sure.
He's spending a lot of time there.
Yeah. I mean, he always has, Hollywood, music industry.
Now that Harvey Weinstein has been submarined to Antarctica, Satan took over his office here
Probably,
in LA.
yeah.
That's
he probably had a really nice office.
He had a nice office.
Yeah.
So Satan's like, well, you're not using it.
That was a good one.
All right, I'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Okay.
Is it